In this bulletin, the boss of 1,500 printer cartridge stores shares his growth plans for 2014.
From across the planet, Recycling Times keeps you in touch with the latest computer printing news.
Hello, I'm David Gibbons. The way consumers print their documents in 2014 is different. The global financial crisis, the advent of tablets and mobile printing, and the managed print services business model have had a combined impact. So, fewer printers and print consumables are being purchased than 2 years ago. But some are not taking this lying down. Rod Young, the CEO of 1,500 Global Cartridge World Store Network, sees many opportunities for growth. And he joins me here. Hello, Rod. Tell me, what is actually your role as CEO of Cartridge World Stores?
Yes, my role as Global CEO and Executive Chairman of Cartridge World. That sounds like a fairly full book, but I'm very ably assisted by country leaders in the UK, in France, where we own our businesses directly, in Australia, where we have our Australian office that was the embryo of our business, and we have a senior executive there running the Australian and New Zealand business, and we have a team up here in Asia, and in North America we have our global CFO, Bill Swanson, and he is also the CEO of the Americas. We also have a very dedicated executive in Harry Stubos, who has two major roles, and one is in global procurement, where we're focusing on quality of product and source of supply, and the second is network development, as we're adding more stores and more markets to our already global business.
So tell me, which global markets and which business markets is Cartridge World particularly interested in and growing in?
Well, the ones we're particularly interested in are in Asia. We see that market growing significantly. That's not to say that we're ignoring the rest of the world. We have a very large business in Australia and North America, and especially in North America we see very significant growth for our business there. Europe is recovering and we see some very interesting opportunities there, but we see our big growth markets being in following the trend of global economies, and that is into the Asian markets, China, here in Hong Kong. We have recently established a Hong Kong trading corporation, and we're in the market selling directly to our customers in the market here, as well as facilitating the development of the other Asian markets from our Asian office here.
Cartridge World is very well known for being able to work with small office, and home consumers. Is this the area, the market that you want to continue seeing Cartridge World growing in and strengthening in, or do you see that there are other markets as well?
Well, we're consolidating that market and we're growing our market share in that market. But just as the bigger players tend to come down from the bigger businesses as they're finding markets tough there, we're actually pushing up in this market. And at this Asian conference, we'll be announcing a major client that we've won in one of our markets. I'm not going to convey too much more of that detail, but we're very pleased with the brands that we're doing business with. And the businesses that we do business with around the globe would absolutely surprise most organisations. We do business with the major corporations of the world in many markets across the world, and that's the opportunity we see that will continue to grow in.
I mentioned at the beginning the aftermarket consumables industry is different to what it was even just 5 years ago.
Look, I think that it's a question of the change in technology and the combination of the change in complexity and the change in margin. The OEMs are really amping up their technologies to make it more difficult for the aftermarket industry. And they're also compressing their prices, and what we're seeing is a very, very significant shakeout. We see that the nature of the business will change significantly, and Cartridge World is certainly, we think, on top of that change. And to be frank, we've been slow to make that move up until a couple of years ago, but we're accelerating rapidly to put us in front of that change to ensure that we've got the products and the services that our consumers need.
So Rod, how will Cartridge World change to adjust to these times, or what does Cartridge World need to do to adjust?
Well, the thing that we're doing is changing and upgrading the quality of our people across our network, not only in terms of our management, but upskilling of our franchise owners, the introduction of new franchise owners with new skills, and importantly, in the grant of our master franchises in new regions. Bigger corporations are interested in acquiring the rights to Cartridge World. We're opening in new markets in the Middle East. We're opening new markets in Africa. We have many new markets both within China and the rest of Asia. And what we're doing is attracting a much higher calibre of individual or corporation. And we're talking about groups or individuals with a net worth of not less than $10 million who are serious about taking on, say, in the Asian region, the $22 billion market opportunity that we see. And so our big change is in the quality of our people and in the way our business processes are conducted.
How many Cartridge World stores are there around the world at the moment, and how many do you think there will be, say, in the next 2 or 3 years?
Well, that's an interesting question. As CEO, I should be able to throw that off the top of my head, but the interesting thing is we have stores relocating every week. We have some stores closing that are inappropriately located or not in the right markets, and we have some stores opening. At the moment, we have around about 1,500 stores across around about 50 countries, and we're opening just in the next 3 or 4 months. We'll be opening in another 3 or 4 countries around the world, and that spawns a whole raft of new stores. And of course, our activities aren't just retail based. We're moving more of our business onto the internet as well. So our global reach is growing as a result of that. And we have a very solid bricks and clicks strategy, which will see us opening stores. And in North America, for instance, we only actually get to about 30% of the North American market. So that means that just in North America alone, we should have about 2,000 stores. So we've got very, very significant growth opportunities there. And in many of our markets, we have a very minor market share, and in some markets, we're not even growing as quickly as the markets are growing, especially in Asia. So we see many great opportunities for us to grow in the Asian market.
So what is your strategy for growth in the future?
Well, as I was saying, that our people are the core part of our strategy, and so our growth is to actually attract more significant businesses who wish to acquire our master development rights in a number of masters areas around the world. And what we are looking to do is attract people who see the opportunities in this market. Globally, it's an $80 billion market. It's continuing to grow. While it's changing, it's continuing to grow, and we see very, very significant opportunities. And so the sort of people that we're looking for are entrepreneurial organisations who see the opportunities to get into this $80 billion market. And we're looking to attract more of those. And so what we're doing is going out to the market to let people know that Cartridge World is in growth mode, and it's looking to talk to people who want to get into this very vibrant and interesting industry.
Thanks, Rod, for joining with me today.
All right, David, it's a pleasure.
I have been speaking with Rod Young, the boss of the 1,500-strong network of Cartridge World stores across the world, who sees more growth taking place in 2014. And you can read more about what Rod Young has to say and Cartridge World in this month's Recycling Times magazine with Integral's Jan Hageman on the front cover. Well, thanks for joining me. We'll see you again next week. I'm David Gibbons.